You are watching
You have
Xirtus.
people hating each other right now. And right now, if I had been watching the same programming that the left is, I would be leading all the protests in my state. I wouldn't have slept. I'd be getting signs. I would be fighting because what they're being told is insane. And if that was happening, I'd be doing exactly what they were doing. So, for an example, and this is what is really important. I have my family is split. I have conservatives on, and then liberals on side, very close, siblings and parents split. And I'm trying to teach my kids about all this media stuff, but I finally got through to my daughter by just explaining a very basic thing. And this is maybe the way that we can start talking to each other because they've made it so lefts and rights cannot talk by specifically designing the language around it, by specifically offending the other side. If you ever tuned in, so, if the left watches Fox, you can't, maybe 30 seconds they could go, or to like 5 minutes before they were directly insulted and made to not watch it. And the same, it'll be like, and the retarded lefts, and they're like, well, this isn't for me. They're not talking to me. You can't watch it. And I know this because when I got turned liberal, I know the class that programmed me to be liberal. It's crazy. And so I know how I was when I thought those ways. And then when I was programmed, when I started to like drop all that, I was so frustrated watching the right side of media because I'm like, no one's going to watch this. No left person is going to ever watch this because you're insulting them. But
Right.
the CNN and MSN do the same. They're like the Nazis and this. But why that's so important is to make sure nobody watches the other news because you have Fox saying illegal aliens, and you have they don't say illegal immigrants even on mainstream. They say immigrants. And then,
Undocumented workers, right?
so the reason I wanted to talk about just finding a way to talk to these other sides is they're literally just telling complete lies to these people. And you have Tim Pool and Asmongold going around and making fun, especially as making fun of all these liberals. And I get it. It's some of the stuff they're saying is ridiculous, but consume what they're consuming and assume that it's true because people think news is true. Then everybody should be doing what they're doing. And I'm in the wrong. If I was watching what anyone else was watching right now, my governors, and believing it, I would be protesting. And it's sick because,
Well, yeah,
what do you
they
do?
want you
So,
on both sides. They want you protesting both
yeah.
sides, and that's
Can you
kind
pull
of
up that
and
picture
that
we were talking about too earlier?
yeah, just
So you go
just
ahead.
2 seconds.
Sorry,
Like I
Jackson.
wanted to comment on that, which is that in the old days, the Democrats or the left, they were up on their high horse when they were in charge of everything, and they weren't really hearing the criticisms against them at the time, which led to the MAGA movement, the Trump movement, et cetera, the conservatives kind of making their play. Now the conservatives are in charge, and I feel like they're doing the same thing and becoming tone deaf to the criticisms against them as well and aren't really aware of what's going on. And it's a concern, right? Because things get very myopic when you're focusing on just this one day and what's going on with this one issue. But we have all of these little archetypes, like these archetypical murders or crucifixions, martyrdoms, sacrifices during riots and protests. Oh, it's this mother getting sacrificed, right? And on one hand, people are saying, "Oh my God, I have to go out there because I saw this on TV. I have to go, stand up for this, this archetype that's been destroyed." And on the other hand, you have a lot of the conservatives saying there's thank God we finally have a justification for what for a police state, right? Like people are grateful that American citizens are being shot. Now, I mean, it's reductionist. Obviously, this is someone who made a mistake and they were going and doing something wrong, I would even say, and all that. You can't just be cut and dry like defense of criminality. But
You can't have a day of mourning either at this time.
You
You know
can't
what I
have a
mean?
day of mourning. And it's
So
crazy, this idea that people are calling for what is essentially a crystal knocked. They're demanding they have people murdered, or that they have police state empowered to murder. And that's a really weird thing from the side that's doing that after what they've been through. But now that they're in charge, this is how it always works. It's very Nietzschean. You end up in charge, you end up being willing to hurt the other side. And they're just desperate to see, I mean, people that are, if the police can kill, or if the agencies can kill someone that you want them to be punished, right? they can punish them, they can punish you. And that's just the weird thing we're seeing is this hyper escalation. Okay, so I know you wanted to pull up the photo really
Or just
quickly.
any photo. So for like, I just want to give this example because this is how my daughter was finally like, oh my gosh, did you tell that to Auntie? I was like, I've been trying for, you know, a long time to both sides. So we have if there's a story about an illegal immigrant being deported, generally speaking, okay, the left will show an image of this person, and the right will show an image of this person. It'll be the exact same image of them arresting the same thing. It's the same exact image. So the left will have the headline and run the news, and it'll be family, father, business owner, local Somali immigrant wrongfully taken and deported. And they'll have that image, and it'll look violent, and like ICE is like getting this guy. And then, or it could be, let's say it was Venezuelans or whatever. Then you go to the right, and it's saying same exact image, and it's saying drug runner, gang leader, rapist, murderer, and we got him. And so, and an illegal immigrant. And so we have now, completely if either side of those saw the other side, they both agree with it. So if say the left side of my family was watching that same story, they'd be like, good, get that evil bad guy out of here. And then if the right's watching it, saying, well, it's a legal immigrant that's here as an immigrant, no illegal, there's no illegal ever attached to it. It's an immigrant. So they literally are training them to think that they're taking just general legal citizens and deporting them too, which is also misleading. So granted, and my daughter was just like, wow, they can't do that. I'm like, that's what they're doing. They're showing the same exact thing and telling this side that that's what it is, and this side completely something else. So neither side is wrong about how they feel about the situation, because they're looking at both of them, they're good. They're doing what is best and good and what you would do if you had the same programming. So to make fun of them and call them idiots, it's like, if people aren't going out right now to protest, it's either and they're not awake, they're just bad people. Like if you're awake, you're not going out because this is all hoopla. But if you were just watching this as a regular citizen, everybody should be up in arms about what ICE is doing.
Yes, yeah, so this is the irony.
Further into that, because I had to figure out how I feel, and now I know.
Scott, I think you got part of this right. The left is wrong, but the first part you have, the one side is correct. That's the wrong. That's so wrong. It hurts, bro. Like, no, they're not right. The right is wrong and the left is wrong right now. I'm not saying that
nobody has the information correct. So
yeah, there's too much information being hidden.
Here's me. I'm in a sanctuary city, whatever. I didn't even know what that was. Okay.
Both sides are marching as gradually for
I don't know. Obviously,
this is it. This is the answer.
And also, California. So as a state, we have rights, supposedly, right? So I started to get upset when I thought about ICE coming in, not for this reason. If it was ICE, if it was anyone doing anything that was my state's rights,
like what it is,
the state's rights being taken away. Yeah. Your state's rights is being taken away, and you don't have warning. The president doesn't give you any warning, and they just come in and they start wreaking havoc.
We agree that the left have made this problem, and that it's we figured this is as close to justified as it could be for the federal government to take away your rights. But it is I'm saying that there's the justification by the corruption. Everyone, we can all agree there's extreme corruption, and this corruption is enough justification. It might be the closest to enough justification we'll ever get for this, Nazi takeover. But that doesn't mean it's not what it is. What you're saying is still, this is the taking away of the sovereignty of a state, right? That's objectively what's happening. But even if you think it's justified.
But I found out. Okay, so what does it mean to be a sanctuary city? Okay. So we do offer refuge now for 1 year. Okay, 1 year. So I had to find this out. So
if I come in as a refugee, I get 1 year asylum. That's the way that works.
I don't know if it's from everywhere. So they had 1 year, and I guess their 1 year happened to expire right at this time of this stuff with Renee Good, and that's why ICE is going in. And it's not Minnesota; it's everywhere, all over the country. So I was like, "What? You can't target Minnesota just because of this fraud? That doesn't make them like violent people that you need to come in with ICE and do all this. They already sent people to investigate the fraud. This is different. And so it's this 1 year expiratory thing, which no one's being told about either. Okay. Like that we have that 1 year granted for them. Now, conservatives need to respect that because this is our state. That's what we have. And liberals need to respect that 1 year. Past presidents maybe didn't enforce it after a year. They were lax on it. I have no idea. But if you know what Trump is like, and he's coming in and enforcing all these rules, and you have the 1 year and it's expired, and you're like, well, so I was upset. I was upset my state's rights are being taken, or are they?
No,
no one
objectively
knows.
they are.
I mean, nobody's telling you anything.
They are, but
not really, because we were a sanctuary. He's following the rules. It's been a year. They let us be a sanctuary city. For the year, that time is up. So now ICE is going in to enforce it because the sanctuary cities that the federal government had allowed to have that rule of a year. And maybe there wasn't enough people to enforce it before, and people were just staying longer.
That's a good point. No, I mean,
I think, and I'm not the expert.
It still seems
once I found that out, I was like, okay, there's a way to do it that's way better. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying, was he within like the bounds of doing what?
Yeah, is it in bounds?
You know,
and it might be in bounds.
So.
It sounds like
I think
is.
so.
Right.
And should there have been a warning? Because what I looked up was like, how long did they have notice? Because if I was in Somalia and Minnesota contacted me and said, come here, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you this, we want you here, right? I'd be like, all right, let's try it out. Do. It's a sanctuary city. And then all of a sudden I just got taken. I have a lot of issues with that. That's terrible to do to somebody, right? We shouldn't do that. I don't know why anyone would do that. So I thought that's what was happening. Now, another thing I found out is the amount. So the left will say they're taking all these family people, loving, working, and those are the only people getting sent back. And the right will say it's only violent offenders. They're not even going after law-abiding immigrants. Neither is true. Here's the details. Oh, I think it was 33% of the deportations are 33% again, and 67 is the whatever. So 60% are actually people that have committed a crime right now, and 33 have committed no crime. And when I hear that, that seems like it's way lower of a number of non-violent people that are being deported than what most of the news I'm seeing is saying. But it's not like 100%.
A third of the people are non-violent criminals. They're criminals because they're not legally there, but they're not violent criminals, right?
Which is a kind of like, okay, correct. But they're exactly. So now the question of illegal or legal versus criminal record or non-criminal record, that's another thing that confuses things. Because it's like you have an illegal immigrant, someone that's here illegally. Now, then there's another layer of that if they're an illegal immigrant here in a sanctuary city. It's that extra level of protection. So there's just a lot of layers of things that you have to study to even understand how to feel about this issue right now.
Thank you for watching Xirtus. Keep listening.